Last week, we told you about the state ethics charges against the McBee mayor over his water company's takeover of the town's water system on the mayor's first day in office. Well, the takeover happened last year when the mayor and council voted to hand the town's water system to Alligator Water, a water company the mayor and the vice mayor work for. Now, Chief Investigative Reporter Jody Bars uncovered new evidence showing that the takeover might have violated a town ordinance. Jody lays this all out in tonight's update to Unreal Deal.
I think what we can do is we'll go ahead and get started, and this time I'm going to call a public hearing meeting to order.
That audio recording is from a February 2021 McBee Town Council meeting where council voted to pass a law to make it illegal for the town to sell, assign, or contract out its water system unless the public approves it through a referendum.
All in favor, aye.
In February 2023, on his first day as mayor, Glenn Odom and council, with a simple majority vote, shut down McBee's system. Vice Mayor James Linton and Councilman Robbie Lyles voted with Odom. The vote handed the town's water system over to Odom and Linton's employer, Alligator Rural Water and Sewer Company. But did that vote violate that 2021 ordinance?
Come in.
All right. Just 2 weeks ago, Mayor Glenn Odom told us that 2021 ordinance never actually passed, something McBee Town Attorney Martin Driggers also told us.
And Martin concurs with me. There was no proper motion, no proper second, and no discussion. Never a vote was taken on it. That was his opinion that you forwarded off my phone to you, saying that it had never, the ordinance had never been enacted.
So this is not in the ordinance book?
No, it's not in the ordinance book.
But before the ink dried on our Unreal Deal follow-up report last week, we got this.
To discuss really the addition to the ordinance chapter 17, Utilities, Article 2.
Someone held on to the audio recording of that nearly 4-year-old council meeting where council voted to give McBee voters the right to approve changes to the town's water system.
I think we're ready to make a motion, to approve the addition at the second hearing of the Chapter 17, Article 2.
Council then moved on to discussion.
And I'll make that motion. I'm looking for a second.
I thought we did that already.
Well, we didn't have Kemper board. We did it. Ma'am.
Then they voted to approve the ordinance.
So right now, then we do have I know that Glenn wants to be left out of it, but do we have approval of Kemp and Dee and Charlie and myself?
Yep.
And anyone opposed? If not, we have all those are voting in favor of it.
The lack of a second is immaterial.
Tim Wynn is a professional parliamentarian, an expert in Robert's Rules of Order, the standard in how councils conduct meetings and pass laws. McBee's ordinance book shows Robert's Rules of Order is the official rule book for town council, and the man who's supposed to ensure the rules are followed,
Your Honor, may it please the court,
is town attorney Martin S. Driggers, Jr.
If the assembly has already started consideration of it, if a member has started to speak in debate on it, and especially if they're, well into considering this motion, it's too late for a second. Once you've moved past that part and started to consider it, the lack of a second is immaterial.
Meaning Mayor Odom and Attorney Driggers' legal rationale might not be accurate. I asked Driggers multiple times to interview with me about his decision, but he ignored every outreach.
The lack of a second in no way interferes with the validity of the consideration or the adoption of the motion. So parliamentary law is not going to hem up their efforts by saying you forgot a parliamentary step along the way, so that invalidates your decision.
So at the end of all of this, the lack of a second or a proper second is not fatal to a piece of legislation.
No, absolutely not. What we look at is the will of the assembly as expressed by their vote.
So what now? If the 2021 ordinance was valid, that means the 2023 vote to hand the town's water system over to Alligator Water would be invalid.
In situations where a body has taken action beyond its authority, oftentimes in those cases, the action taken itself is null and void just by nature, because the body didn't have the authority to do it. We can't say, well, we did it wrong, but that's in the past. If it's something that has a continuing nature and is currently in violation with the bylaws. So your choice then is to either amend the bylaws to allow you to do, what it is that you want to do, or do that action in a way that conforms with the bylaws. And when I say bylaws, I mean whatever governing document governs that organization.
And you think that ordinance says that should be the people's decision, not council?
Absolutely. 100%.
Gregory Rogers filed the ethics complaint that got Mayor Glenn Odom and Vice Mayor James Linton charged with violations of the state's Ethics Act. Rogers is running for a council seat in next week's election and says he plans to do whatever he can to make this right for McBee voters. For that to be the first item of business in the first 24 hours in office, well, what does that say to you?
His intent all the time. It's not the concern of McBee. It's about the water and his end game and the monetary value, just the control of the water here in McBee.
In McBee, Jody Barr, Queen City News investigates.